Hi, Dr. Lee, and whoever else watching this presentation. This is my religious services presentation for Sociology 4121. So I chose the Sikh religion for this project. I had been enamored with the religion since I saw them during the COVID pandemic, actually. So one of the things that really struck out to me was that they had a focus on providing services to the poor and needy during the pandemic, and that included um, providing food and shelter for anyone who asked for it. So I was particularly struck by these acts of kindness and humanity during the pandemic when other religions were shutting their doors or scaling down service. The Sikh religion really stepped up and opened their doors to a lot of people, in America included. So I chose them for that reason, and I decided to discuss some of the main tenets of the religion and kind of walk through what like a daily religious service would look like for the religion. So one of the videos, I wasn't able to attend a service in person. The week that I intended to, I was sick and didn't want to compromise other people in the service, so I stayed home. But I found a video on YouTube that discussed what a typical religious service at a Gurudwara is, and a Gurudwara um, is the house of worship essentially for the Sikh religion. So to begin, Sikh means discipline or seeker in Sanskrit. So this is an Indian script. So I also thought that was pretty interesting that like the religion itself kind of surrounds itself around people who are seeking a new religion, essentially. So that's what the religion itself means. The main tenets of the religion are based on the guru. So the religion itself was founded by the teachings of Guru Nanak, probably saying that incorrectly, but he was the first guru, and I think that was about in the 15th century. And the subsequent 9 gurus who came after him. So the religion is surrounded by the teachings and the writings of these 10 gurus. So I listed here that the definition of a Sikh is any human being who faithfully believes in the one immortal being, in the teachings of the 10 gurus, or the existence, I guess, of the 10 gurus from the first Guru Nanak Sahib to the last one, Guru Sobind Singh Sahib. Sorry about the pronunciation. The Guru Granth Sahib, that is the written form of the religion, and the utterances and teachings of the 10 gurus, and the baptism bequeathed by the 10th guru, and who does not owe allegiance to any other religion is a Sikh. So all 5 of these tenets essentially make a person a Sikh, and not believing in any one of them would disqualify you from being a Sikh, essentially. So I've pictured here one of the religious drawings, or religious paintings rather, of the Sikh religion. So this depicts the first guru, Guru Nanak, being surrounded by the other 9 gurus, and I just found it to be a pretty beautiful painting, and it kind of underpins the beauty of the artwork that is found in the religion. In the top right of this PowerPoint, you can see an example of what a Gurudwara looks like, and this is the one in Colorado that I intended to visit but was unable to. So as you can see from the outside, it reminds me a lot of the Islamic faith. It has minarets or turrets placed kind of sporadically on the building. It's very opulent and uses a lot of bright and golden colors to kind of show the opulence of the faith. It's also very big, so the building itself is large to denote, I think, the importance of the religion in essence. So after watching the video that I watched on YouTube, and some of the formatting got a little weird on that, but regardless, one of the main concepts that I initially found in the Sikh religion was kind of the focus on the sacred and the displays of the sacred. So one of the things that struck out to me was their attire. So it's not a traditional religious service that you'd find in the Christian religion, where people are wearing predominantly Western garb. It's the focus is on kind of stripping away the opulence of the self and the ego, and returning to a more modest form. So they call them pajamas. I think the word is tanak, and this is a sort of pajama. It's white traditionally, that you'd wear to the religious service. So that kind of I think removes some individuality and kind of and helps the person focus their energy and their consciousness on the religious service. Another thing that I noticed was that there are no shoes allowed in the religious service. So before entering, patrons of the faith will remove their shoes in kind of a ceremonious fashion. They'll take them off and they'll give them to a person, and there's a very ceremonial focus about that. And what that's supposed to signify is that the person is grounding themselves. They are, again, removing an aspect of their individuality, and they're connected to the earth. So that's another important aspect of the religion. And another is the head covering. So a head covering is required for both males and females. It can be whatever you would like. Most men will wear a turban, which you can see in this picture. This man is wearing a turban. It essentially covers the entire head, so no hair above the beard and the sideburn is showing. So this kind of, again, removes a sense of individuality and connects each of the patrons of the faith to each other, because they're all dressed essentially the same. So there's a strong focus on these practices and the etiquette that goes into beginning the religious service. So before any of the gurus even talk or give a sermon, all these practices must be met. So moving on, what happens next is that as each person enters the Gurudwara, after they've completed all the ceremonial entrances, they will approach the guru, who will be sitting at the front of the room. They will modestly walk up to him, and it's typically a male. I hadn't heard of any female gurus, so that's an interesting point to note, that it's a male-dominated clergy, essentially. So the patrons of the faith will walk up to the guru and they will bow their head. The head must touch the floor, which is important. And the bowing signifies and represents the sacrificing of your mind and your ego to your highest consciousness. So another interesting thing to note is that guru is both, the word guru is both the practitioner of the religion, the person who's giving the sermons, but it is also your inner consciousness. You have a guru within yourself, which I thought was interesting. So the gurus are the primary religious figure of the religion. They are the ones who will give the sermon. There's a strong focus on reverence and deference paid to the gurus. So they're not I guess I'll make an analogy to the Protestant religions, where ministers of the faith will be friends with the patrons, and in this case there's a strong deference paid to the gurus. The gurus are your religious and your spiritual guide. So you pay respect to them, to the highest order. And a big focus, like I mentioned before, is on ritual and ceremony during the service itself. So as I mentioned, you will walk into the ceremony wearing exactly what you're supposed to. You'll have the head covering, your shoes will be off, you'll be wearing the tanakh or the pajamas that they wear. They'll be wearing modest colors. Sometimes there will be more opulent colors. Blue is a color I've seen. Orange is a color of the religion. These colors are worn in special circumstances, particularly wedding ceremonies or on holidays. But on a traditional weekday service, white is traditionally what is worn. So another interesting thing is that in the room itself, in the house of worship where the sermon is being conducted, there will be a band actually in one of the corners that before and after the ceremony, music will be played. So I felt this kind of reinforced collective effervescence in that music is a big focus in lifting up the spirits of the patrons. And I'm sorry, I'm about to sneeze. I probably should re-record this, but I think we'll keep going. Apologies in advance for that. So music is a big focus because it helps reinforce the tenets of the religion, and the hymns essentially are religiously based. So they're not just playing casual music; they're playing music that is important to the religion itself. So collective effervescence was a big focus there. Focus on ritual, sacred versus profane. These are the main concepts in the religion, and I really enjoyed learning about this religion. It's something that I want to spend more time learning about, especially because I think that the religion has shown itself to be one of the shining lights in the pandemic, and it really it convinced me that religion still has a place in the world, and it has the capacity to do good. So I was really I was struck by that, and that's where I'll end the presentation. So my credits are listed below. I listed the YouTube video, and I pulled a lot of the information paraphrased from Wikipedia. Also, every picture comes from the public domain from Wikipedia, so no copyright issues there. Thank you very much for watching this, and have a great rest of your day.